selling real one Chevy.
Hey everyone, welcome to IJustWatched. It's your boy Joseph, and we're about to discuss the first two episodes to The Lord of Rings, The Rings of Power, Season 1. And I think I read they want to do 5 seasons, if I remember reading correctly. Before we get into it, I gotta hit you with the usual, which is hopefully you like this enough to smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the little bell to get notified. Let's discuss The Rings of Power. One thing to compare to another show, House of Dragons, that I wish they would have done title-wise, instead of calling it The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, I wish it would have been just The Rings of Power. House of Dragons isn't Game of Thrones, House of Dragons. The Hobbit wasn't The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. See what I'm saying? We know it's intertwined. I would have preferred just The Rings of Power. I think that sounds more powerful. But no, I like the way it sounds. I think it sounds smoother, cleaner. We know the gist. We know Middle-earth. We know. I extremely got caught in the beginning with that opening exposition from Galadriel and the discussion of that initial war versus Morgoth, originally Melkor, before he became Morgoth. I can't really pronounce the last piece, so I wrote it as Boglier. I know it's Morgoth. Boglier. Literally, he is the most powerful of the, and I'm gonna mispronounce all this, but you should know. If you know, you should know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So he's the most powerful of the Anui. I feel like it started off decent, it just got worse. Ainue, the Anui. But he turned to darkness and homeboy committed. He's basically like Lucifer, so to speak, fell, the devil. And then I love the fact that they brought Morgoth, but then I love the fact that they brought that and discuss his defeat. I would actually have loved to see that part of the history versus this, but too late for that. Oh, not too late, but this is where we're at. So, and then they give you a small glimpse, but you find out that Marion, a Mayor of Alul, becomes his principal lieutenant, aka we know him as Sauron. Again, I wish they would have dove way further into Morgoth, because Morgoth is cool. Plus, Morgoth is way more powerful than Sauron is. So I think it would have been cool to dive into that and then really delve into how they defeated that motherfucker. It almost feels kind of like if Sauron and him were Sith Lords. Sauron was like, betrayal, so I'm in charge now. I don't think that's how it went down, but it feels like that. I don't know if they meant to do that. Alright, but and then I kept reading because I was trying to figure out. I have an idea of where this takes place. It's the Second Age. It's supposed to be an adaptation of the Silmarillion and the appendices of the Lord of the Rings. But from what I read is that the showrunners are taking those pieces and then creating something new, completely new. Just taking this and going and throwing their own shit in and then giving us this. It can be good. I think the show starts off decent. It's not necessarily horrible or bad by any means yet, but it's not really that good. Through development, as it continues to grow, as we start getting further into the story, I think it can be. But I say that, let's continue. The first thing I thought of when we saw the Harfoots was that's some Fern Gully forest fairy shit. They start popping out of the trees. And I don't know. I tried reading and doing some research on how involved the Harfoots are, or the hobbits are, to the story. Because if they're not really that involved, I'm kind of bummed that they're this involved. Or if they are this involved, I'm still kind of bummed because their part is so lackluster right now. I get it, Bilbo, Frodo, really Sam, but I get it. Big parts there. Are they so involved here? And I understand there's 3 main ancestors, Harfoots, and then I can't remember the other 2. I know Harfoots are your most, Sam was a Harfoot, if I remember correctly. Their part so far is kind of the hardest to really stay with. That fight scene in the beginning with the troll was kind of cool. Also, their swords seem way too big for them. I don't know if that was a choice, but is everyone rocking oversized bastard sword, or is that just me? When she decides to jump off the ship instead of going to Valinor in the middle of the ocean, I was like, that does not seem wise. I would have preferred her not going at all. Just seeing the ship and then be like, it's not for me. Versus getting to the gates of Valinor, seeing the stupid doves or whatever, and then the clouds open and being like, peace. And I was like, the fuck? Anyways, it didn't feel right. And then the sea creature thing, what were those people doing out there? Where were they going? I have more questions than I do answers. And it's not even questions that I feel like are vital to the damn story yet. I could be wrong. Anyways, of course, they introduce Celebrimbor. He's the fucking creator of the rings. And then we see Elrond. Is it because they're so young that they're not giving me the vibe of who they become? Is that it? Because if that's it, then that's fine. But like Galadriel, Elrond, like they don't feel. Obviously, they're not gonna have the wisdom or capabilities over fucking thousands of years and shit. But I feel like there should be a little piece of their persona that I'm missing. Celebrimbor, I feel like doesn't look like Celebrimbor at all. What I remember design wise, like looking at him. Not just from the game, but like in the books and stuff. But I could be wrong. Whatever. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because, you know, in the video game, that's how. I remember seeing artwork and then playing both video games going like. And it ends with the Meteor Man, which it really does feel like Gandalf or possibly one of the blue wizards we've never seen. He may be a complete new wizard, but if I remember correctly, wizards didn't come until the Third Age. I actually don't want it to be Gandalf. If I'm being honest, I would prefer it to be one of the blue wizards or a other wizard, you know, especially because they're switching it up, saying that, because I remember, I was gonna say Swizzards, they didn't arrive, I can't remember, like the Anuye, whatever their real race is called, their species or whatever, didn't arrive till the Third Age, so he's here early. He has to be a Swizzard, there's no question there. I really dislike the map cuts. Oh, those things got bloody annoying quick. We get him in the first episode, but I feel like it's non-stop cuts to the map or using the map to cut. And it just keeps taking me out of it. I'm like, bro, I know we're in Middle-earth. I know the names of places aren't quite what they're going to be yet. Stop showing me this damn map is whack. I hate it. I'm over it already. Intro is also kind of meh. So I had to bring that up because in House of Dragons, I thought their intro was and I was hoping this one would be better. This one's also, I don't really care for it. I was hoping for more in both intros. However, at 3 episodes deep, but if I was just to watch the first 2, I think House of Dragons is technically winning for me right now. It's not by much, but it is. This show is definitely giving us a lot of like visual, trying to do a lot of like that eye candy. I feel like to win us over, like you never saw this before, let's show it to you in this beautiful grand scale, and you're just like, it's pretty. And parts of it really are. However, it's not enough for me to be like, fuck it, I love it. Because I like it, but I'm not there yet. Again, I can't stand the Harfoots. They're slow, and I'm over it. Who the hell are these people on the raft? What's up with the giant sea beastie? See these questions? The best part about the show so far to me, well, it's 2 characters because of his wife, but it's fucking Prince Durin. He is abundantly the carrying moment and character for the show right now with his charisma and the way he's doing his things. He is definitely the best part of this show so far. The show's not necessarily bad, but it's not nowhere near holding its own against Lord of the Rings or even The Hobbit. Not knocking it off yet. We still have more episodes. Let me see. It's supposed to be 8 episodes total for the first season. I'm gonna give it a bit more of a chance before I really, hate or love it. Underdogs on top. Overall, I feel like the character designs and outfits feel off. It doesn't feel like they fit into the universe. Watch Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. It still feels like they mesh. It still feels like they exist in the same world, from not just location, but like the character design themselves. I do know that this place takes place in a completely different age, years before, but it should still have some. It should still feel like it fits. It feels so really. It just doesn't blend. It's probably the best way for me to put it. Personally, it's not blending, at least for me, with the Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, with that whole situation. I see that they're really like trying to build, but it's just not super enticing. It's my own like love for Middle Earth and Lord of the Rings and that lore that's like driving me to want to keep going. And I want to hear your thoughts. How do you feel about the show so far? I guess I know 2 episodes in, I would assume it gets better. House of Dragons first 2 episodes were okay. 3rd episode definitely helped it. So perhaps
fuck you, man, because time's gonna tell on that one.
Same thing. As it goes on, we get more. It starts to get better. We start to fall into it. let's see. What do you think so far? I want to hear your comments, questions, concerns, opinions. Do you agree, disagree? How do you feel about the show so far? Down below, let me know. But I love hearing from you. But until next time, stay safe, be well. Adios.